Hi, everyone. Go in. Okay, I stopped the playback. Hi, everyone. How is everyone doing? I was reading through the chat before I got here. Can everybody hear me okay? Let me see. Okay, people are saying yes. Happy new moon. Happy new moon, everyone. It is a Pisces new moon. And I'm about to, let me pull up the chart for where we are right now. Today has been, there's a lot of emotions, like, I feel like, what is the word I'm thinking of? I guess humidity, but not in the hot and sticky way, but when there's just moisture in the air, that's how I feel today. Like, I feel like there's a lot of moisture in the air. So a lot of things are tinted with emotions. Like, a lot of things have an emotional imprint on them. It's almost like if, I'm seeing in my head right now, like when I was young in art class, you would put paint in the middle of a paper, like right in the middle, and then you would fold it in half and you would like rub the paint, and then when you would undo it, there would be like an image, and it would be like one half of the side and one half of the side, and you would create something like that. It's like from the middle you would rub it and then you would pull it out. That's what I'm thinking about right now. It's almost this feeling of like texture but emotionally, and it's like a moist type of feeling is that what I've been picking up on all day. I want to make sure that this isn't going to start playing. Let's see. Chad said the tears are in the air waiting for us to let them fall. It could be, but it feels like, the thing about Pisces is like, when you think of Pisces and you think of beyond Pisces and you think of the 12th house, it's so unconscious and it's so beyond a realistic grasp. Like, it's so beyond what could really truly be within reach. So it's like, it's almost a feeling where some people, it's like we're not even grabbing for it anymore. We're not even reaching, because it's like a subtle realization of what is really truly within reach and what maybe isn't. Like, I feel like Mercury going in retrograde now is going to show people where they have been reaching, like where they maybe have been remembering stories the way they remember it, or, kind of like being awakened into their own emotional bias and their own emotional maybe like filter and rose tinted glasses. I feel like this is kind of going to make everybody on a collective level see where they are in certain illusions in their life. Because, Pisces really does rule illusions. And a realization that was coming through to me today is that nothing can always stay high. Like, nothing can always stay magical. Everything can't always be magical. Like, that's not truly the divine order. There has to be contrast. There has to be experience. There has to be opposition, because without it, you're just riding a high that you're going to shoot off into something that's probably not even remotely really connected to what is at your core. It's almost like when you jump into the Pisces energy too far, like when you really start to feel like everything is a magic, nothing is real, we're very like, what is the word? Like nihilism. Is that what it is? It's like, that can be dangerous. Like, that can be dangerous. And I feel like with Neptune here on this new moon, it's really more and then the thing is, this is all sextiling Saturn. So rather than, spiritually bypassing what is really going on, maybe really just try to feel into what is really truly going on. Like, I feel like this is a new moon to really, for people to accept where they are, to really kind of like check in with yourself and feel where you're feeling. Like, what are you really feeling? How are you feeling about certain things? But it's almost like it's an illumination, but it's almost like, because Pisces really is like the dreams. Pisces really is the unconscious. Pisces is that oneness, that everything is moving at this divine wave. Everything is moving at its own speed. Everything is moving at its own divine order. And it's kind of just the surrender into that. It's kind of like anything in life where it's a mystery, where you're not really sure how that happened or why that happened, that's going to resonate with Pisces energy. Or anything in your life that doesn't really make sense, but it just is, that's Pisces energy. So, another thing is 6 months from now, when we're in Virgo season and we'll have the full moon in Pisces, there's going to be so much energy in Virgo. There's going to be it's going to be a Virgo stellium, like how now we have a lot of planets in Pisces. So it's going to be this ultimate shift into reality 6 months from now. And at that time, we're going to have 5 planets in retrograde. So it's like, I feel like this is a time right now where people are going to go for a dream, and you are just going to go now. You're going to hold, like, that's what you're going to have. You're going to have that dream, that illusion, and you're going to hold on to it, and it's going to be a wave for the next 6 months. Like, you're going to hold on to a certain dream, or you're going to, jump in. There's almost, because, the thing about Pisces is, like, the way that the fish moves is very chaotic and it's very erratic. Like, it doesn't have, like, it's always in just a state of movement, and it could go here and it could go here and it can go anywhere. So this new moon is kind of like, people are in this space where wherever Pisces is in your chart, there's movement here, there's energy here, there's frequency here. There's things are moving around, and it's almost like, things are getting stirred up within that emotional realm of your life, where however you feel about that area of your life, or if your personal planets are in Pisces. So certain things are like moving, and I feel like this is a time where a lot of people are surrendering into the movement, like surrendering into, this is really opening up a time of course, this is a time of change, but everybody knows that right now. Like, Uranus is now in Taurus, 0 degrees, Chiron is in Aries, 0 degrees. We're at this new moon in Pisces at the end. Like, this is the last new moon of 2018, technically. Like, this is the last. And this is the example that's coming to my head right now is like, imagine if an addict was about to go into rehab. So then they want to get high one last time. Like, they want to get high as fuck one last time. And they're going to want that high to last them all the way until they get there in the car ride. Like, they're going to want to hold on to something to, like, take the edge off, or to hold on to a certain feeling until they get to where they're to the other side of it, the other side of the dream, the other side of the addiction, the other side of it. But it's like that, water energy can feel like you need to feel something. You need some type of fix. You need to feel something. You need to relate to something. You need to feel connected. Like, water very much so needs to feel connected. So this is a new moon where it's like, don't just connect to anything. Like, don't just decide something. If it's new, don't like give your whole heart to it and believe in it. Like, because that's also like a downfall of Pisces, is just, it's very, very open to just believe in things and very open to just see what happens. But I feel like this, like, I could say all of that now for this new moon in Pisces and it would be valid, because it's a new moon in Pisces. It's conjunct Neptune. Like, go for it. But when I look into the chart, into the future, when I look into like what's really going to be going on in longer timelines, I feel like this is a new moon with making more so peace, making more peace with, like, the past rather than initiating something brand new in the future, or rather than like jumping off into a dream or a vision. This is more so really, really closing a certain chapter. Wherever Pisces is in your houses, you are closing a big, big chapter there. Not only because it's the new moon in Pisces, but because this is the last new moon in Pisces where we just ended the Chiron in Pisces transit, which was for a few years. So there's a door that's closing, and it's almost like good riddance. It's almost like saying peace with something, making peace with something. So, you know, if like you're a Pisces rising, this could be with how you feel about yourself. You know what I mean? Or if you're like a Pisces moon, this could be something within your emotion, something within your emotional nature. Or this is something more so about making peace with things. And yes, a sign can always be in two houses. It's always pretty much always in two houses, a sign. Let me read through really quick. So, you know, for me, I was thinking, today I was thinking so much about things I think and things that I have always thought. Well, because Pisces is my third house, and this new moon is on my Saturn in the third house. So I've been kind of in my own mental space, seeing and reviewing how I think about certain things, and then feeling my Saturn energy, like kind of analyzing, kind of like in an emotional analysis energy that has been going on for me. Like today, I've felt like it really feels like there is no past. Like it feels like everything up until this point was just for this point. Like it makes me feel like everything up until this point, like was either just practice or was either just filler. Like it was just filling in time. Like I literally feel like energetically and emotionally, I'm like standing at the edge of a collective cliff. And like I look back and there's no land, and I'm literally on this piece of new land. Like I'm literally in the middle of this land, like, and it's almost like everything has kind of just been swiped, like completely swiped. And I think the reason for that is because any single portal that takes us backwards is too high of a risk. Any portal that takes you back to your past, that pulls you back into an attachment, is too high risk. Because it's almost like if everybody's kind of on this cliff right now in the middle of your life, if you lean back and take one step backwards, you might slip off that cliff. Like, so it's almost like this feeling of presence, of course, like being present with where we are, but it's almost like without the attachment to the past, there's a lot of emptiness in people right now. There's a lot of a big void space because we haven't filled it up, because we haven't started to like live this new life. We haven't started to like, this is definitely a time in history. Like this right now, being alive right now is a time in history. And in people's personal lives, this is a historic moment in your life. This is a historic, emotional, spiritual time in your life where, you know, and then we've had Saturn sextiling Neptune for a minute now, just kind of like drilling the diamond, and drilling through the diamond and drilling through until we get to the very, very pure crystal essence of, and this is a feeling that's, it's like things are breaking down, but at the same time, it's very fluid because all you can really do is surrender and fall in. It's almost like there's not much to hold on to, but what really is your dream, but what really is your free spirit. And I feel like the thing with like Neptune being a part of this new moon, and Mercury, is retrograde now. Mercury just went retrograde. And I feel like this, I'm seeing it as like, imagine if you were cleaning out your camera or your laptop or your phone or something, and you know when you're about to reset the phone and you have to make sure like you want to delete all the pictures. I feel like this Mercury retrograde is kind of like, some of you on this new moon in Pisces, you're already at the point of like, delete all the pictures. I'm ready to reset. I'm ready to update. And then for others of you, you're going to take this Mercury retrograde to delete all of them on hand and delete things on hand, because you may not be ready for the full reset. Like you may not be completely ready yet. And because that's Pisces, like Pisces will hold on to just one little memory, but that attachment to that one little memory is the key to a huge portal. And it's like, just holding on to that one little thing, you're still holding on to a lot. Like you're holding on to a lot. You think that you're just holding on to that picture. You think that you're just holding on to that memory, but like that in itself is a whole door, a whole portal of something that is an anchor for you. So this is a time right now where it's like a lot of people are resetting, and it's this deleting type of feeling where some of you can feel like, wherever Pisces is in your chart, is that you don't know what the fuck has happened in that area. Like you don't know what the fuck has happened in your life and your Pisces house for probably at least the last year and a half. And you could at least say from at least 6 months ago, 6 to 9 months ago. In that area, you don't know what the fuck has been going on there, because it has been such a open space. Like with Neptune there, wherever Neptune is transiting through your houses right now, there is such a vast possibility. There's so much that has probably happened within that space. There's so much that you have uncovered in that space, especially when Chiron was going through it too. And that was at least what, the past, how many years? 5 years? I'm not sure, maybe longer. But it's like, there's this whole clearing out thing that's going on right now. But the good thing about Pisces is that Pisces is persistently hopeful. Like Pisces is optimistic. It's not that Pisces wants to escape everything. It's that Pisces wants to believe that it's going to be okay. Pisces needs to know that it's going to be okay, because, and it's not even like not seeing the truth or not accepting anything or wanting to go away from it. It's just that Pisces has to believe this is going to get better. Like they have to believe that's very essential to their state of being. So they choose to be optimistic. They'll choose to believe in it. They'll choose to try it and forgive it, because they would rather do that and feel that that's the only way they can feel the stableness. Because if they feel like this is only going to get worse or this can't get better, that's when it gets very chaotic. That's when the waters start to get real aggressive, and that's when a Pisces will hurt you. If it feels like it's not going to get better, if there's no optimism, if there's no sense of hope, God bless your soul, because that's when a Pisces will get so negative, so darkfish, and go run off on something else that has no relativity to anything, and just, that's when it turns into an escape. But it's because right now people need to like find optimism in themselves. People need to find excitement. I think a lot of people right now are very bored, very, 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 very bored. Aquarius season kind of made everything sort of detached, and everybody started to stay in their own lane. And then it's like we went into Pisces season and everybody's like overly sensitive and a little bit disgusted with the world. So it's like everybody has kind of like gotten in their own space. Alex said, I still feel like we're somehow dealing with this Venus retrograde stuff. I think so too. And especially because at that time also, I think Uranus was in retrograde. Chiron went retrograde. And that really went down to the core. Like the Venus retrograde and that made people go so dark. Like some people got exposed to parts of themselves that they wish they never would have. Like a lot of people during that retrograde really, really saw things in themselves that they did not want to face, that they did not want to see. And a lot of people are still coping from that. Like a lot of people are still coping from that. Scorpio season 2018 was so rough for me. So rough for me. I had overwhelming paranoia every single day of that season. Like every single day, I literally felt like there was a devil on my shoulder. Like I felt so much energy during that. And that took people into this dark place. But the thing about like Scorpio is that it can filter downward. It can go straight down, straight to hell. You know what I mean? Whereas like now and then later in this month, Venus is going to go into Pisces. And I feel like once Venus goes into Pisces later or after the 20th, when it's Aries season, that's going to heal whatever has come up from Chiron and this new moon and Neptune. Like that's going to kind of put the healing gloss over whatever is still turbulent waters, mutable water, turbulent waters. You know, I feel like that's when it's going to heal. But even just Venus being in Aquarius right now is also putting people in their own mental space. This is putting people in their own perspective. Like a lot of people right now are thinking about things and telepathically communicating about things, but not saying it. Like a lot of people right now, and even within their own lives, like they have these certain ideas and they have these certain thoughts, but they're not necessarily saying anything. They're just kind of moving different based on whatever it is that they're interpreting and whatever it is that they think is true. So a lot of people's truths are changing right now. A lot of people's truths are changing right now. With Venus going in through Aquarius, it's like everything I thought about these people, I didn't know at all. Everything that I thought about, you know, this is what I thought was my truth, I don't even know. Like Venus in Aquarius goes through very, very like troubling. And because it's Venus, like Venus doesn't mind being in Aquarius because Venus can be free and open and really connect with people. But the problem is that there's no love there. So when Venus goes through Aquarius, you don't feel happy when you find the truth. You don't feel like, yay, like, oh, like it's not like Aquarius is the fixed air. So this is a time right now where people they're like coming into truths and they're connecting with people, and it's very serious. Like it's very real, and it's not necessarily something that is like Aquarius is the most serious air energy because it's ruled by Saturn and it's fixed. So with all of this mutable energy, it's like Venus right now is in this air box and is like on some type of quest, really trying to understand who can she trust? What can she really believe in? What is really true? You know, do these people really have good intentions? Is this really on the right path? There's a lot of direct questioning that goes on with Venus and Aquarius. There's a lot of very forceful desire needing to know things. And then when it's in mutable water and we have this new moon going on, it's like a lot of people right now can feel very rigid within their own self. They could feel kind of like reserved and kind of reclusive. And it's almost like, yeah, I'll be there for you. Like if you need me, of course, like hit me up. But then at the same time, it's like, you know, you're not going to talk to those people. You know that like there's an obvious distance right now between people and certain things in their life, certain habits in their life, certain people in their life. There's detachments that are starting to form. So there's this spaces that are getting bigger. And like in Pisces season, we have to like work through those spaces. We have to feel through those spaces. We have to figure out, why is this resistance so big? Like, why is there so much void space? What is it that we need to feel to move through that? Like, what is it that is making this big space there? And, you know, another thing about Neptune is that Neptune doesn't give a fuck about reality. Like, people need to know that. And just like Pisces, the 12th house. The 12th house has nothing to do with reality. Nothing. The only form of reality that the 12th house is even related to is like when a person goes to jail, or when a person is put in a hospital, when a person is literally trapped in a physical place. Like the 12th house has nothing to do with reality. Pisces always feels like they don't know what business they got doing here. What business do I have here? That's why it's a very karmic incarnation. But the 12th house is so unconscious, and it's so in the different realms, and it's so like, it's it's a perception. It's just like they say, you can put someone behind bars, but you can't trap the mind. You can trap the body, but you cannot trap the mind. That's the same thing with like Pisces. You can put them anywhere, but you're not going to stop what they get into. You're not going to stop where the mind travels. You won't stop where the soul travels. You can't stop them from dreaming. You can't stop someone from astrally traveling. So it's that type of energy where it's like right now, this is a new moon this is an unconscious stream. This is an unconscious frequency now. This is a new frequency. This is a new channeled emotional perspective. So, this is not something that's necessarily going to have proof. A lot of you now may feel like you're going to go in your own world now. Like you're going into your world. And you're not in this same world anymore. Like you're not a part of the world that you've always been in anymore. It's like, it's almost that feeling where like you don't belong anymore. And it's like in that feeling, now you belong to something higher, or now you belong to something that, only you can feel, only you can understand. So a lot of people right now are starting to transition into their own world. They're starting to, transition into their greater imagination. And a lot of people right now are disconnecting from the world they've always known, the reality that they've been in, I was reading the comments, but yeah, it's like, and the thing about Pisces is like the Pisces feeling is not like Cancer and Scorpio. Like Pisces is not a water sign like Cancer and Scorpio is, because they're more relationship based. Like the fourth house is the more comfortable feeling and is more like, that comfort and that home and like your roots, what what you resonate with. Like the fourth, those Cancer feelings is like, those warm type of close feelings. And then Scorpio is the eighth house, where it's like where you connect with someone sexually, when you're deep in emotion, when you're really, really raw, and when you are, showing someone something. That's why it's also shared resources, where it's like you show someone what you have and you trust that you can, and it's that risk. It's like it involves the intimacy of someone else. It involves like the fear of being transparent to another person. But like when you go to Pisces and you go to the mutable water and you go to the last house, the 12th house, that's really like the what connects us all is that it's not the emotional type of water like the other two are. Like it has so much more to do with a bigger perspective, and it has so much more to do with, and that's why sometimes Pisces people, you will think they're an air sign. Like when you meet a Pisces, sometimes you'll think that they're an air sign, because they'll talk and they'll be more like open, and they'll be more like like they're not as reserved as maybe a Cancer or Scorpio would be, because it's not necessarily that like emotional thing. Like when Pisces feels emotions, it's just all of what that's going on. It's a whole lot of everything. It's not necessarily like one thing got them upset that day, or it's not like it's that one feeling. It's always like a combination of a whole lot of things. It's always like it's coming from a lot of different places. It's coming from a lot of different spaces, and it can go out in a lot of different spaces. So it's very collective. Pisces represents the oneness. Pisces represents the end of life, when we all pass on and go into another life. It's that regenerated, the end of life, really. So it's not feely like that, and I feel like, it is, Pisces is sensitive and emotional, but it's a different type of emotional. It's sacrificial. It's the type of emotions for sacrifice, where it's like Cancer may die for someone they love, Scorpio may die for someone they love, but Pisces may die for a complete stranger. Like Pisces may go out and jump in front of someone they don't even know. Pisces may love a stranger more than they love someone. Like it's different. So, this is also a time right now where a lot of people are realizing where they need to stand up and be like an emotional hero. Like people are right now standing up in their life in a way where they realize they They have to believe more. You know, they have to find certain strength now. They have to connect more with their intuition. This is a very, 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 very intuitive time. A very, very intuitive time where I don't think anybody really knows what's going to happen next. Nobody does. Like, nobody right now in their life genuinely knows what's going to happen next, because we are beyond those days. Like, we're not in that we're not, like, it's not 20 like 16. It's not 2014. It's not like we're out of those days now. Like, we have evolved in a way, and in a way to where, like, 2019 is not a year where people are going to really truly know what's coming next, like, at all. And I feel like that's putting everybody now, like, this Pisces new moon is almost like this is like a point of no return. Like, this is a point of, like, imagine if you have been in the ocean and you've been drifting and drifting and drifting. And imagine as if you have finally reached the point where you don't see the shore anymore. Like, you have drifted. You are going somewhere and you're no longer near the shore. Like, you don't see that shore anymore. There's not a lot of safety nets right now. There's not a lot of, like, comfort type of feelings, you know? And there's the affinity in that, because it's like, let's see where we end up. Like, let's see where we end up. But I feel like the Virgo full moon 2 weeks ago is kind of like when we finally pushed ourselves on the raft, and we still saw the shore. Like, we still saw where we were leaving. But then now it's like this Pisces new moon, you are in the middle of the ocean and you don't see sight of where you just came from anymore. And you have to trust this mission now. Like, you have to trust that you are on this raft and you are going to get where you go, and that you don't even really have the direction like that, but you're going to have to trust that you're going to end up where you're supposed to go. And that the most important thing is that you're not going backwards, that you're going forward. You're going with the tide. So this is a very, like this new moon to me doesn't feel like, it doesn't feel very exciting. Like, it doesn't feel like, yes, let's start something new. Like, let's, it feels more to me, it's more about, like, collective closure, emotional closure. I feel like this has so much more to do with clearing out our own subconscious so that we are energized again, so that we are clear-headed. This is about being as clear-headed as possible. This is about purifying ourselves. This is about getting very clear inside. This is about trusting in wherever you're going next, even if you don't necessarily know where that is. Because I feel like a lot of people don't know where they're going right now. A lot of people don't. And it's because everybody kind of wants the mystery. Everybody kind of wants to leave a little bit of something up for chance, I think that's also an element to this new moon where it's like, let's just see if fate happens. Let's leave room for a surprise. Let's leave room for being blown away. It's that sort of feeling, because I also feel like up until this point, everybody has been pushing themselves. Like, everybody has been pushing themselves to move forward, especially with Saturn and Capricorn. And I think that now with Mercury retrograde, we're kind of all taking a little bit of a breather, and we're all kind of processing certain memories, certain dreams, certain very, very, very like subconscious desires. And then, 2 weeks from now, we're going to have this Libra full moon. And that's when the power is going to be kind of like back. Like, a lot of people right now are tired. Like, a lot of people right now have very low energy. People are wanting to sleep in the morning. People are wanting to sleep more. People are wanting to call off work. This is a time right now where people are tired. People can feel very drained. And that's why Mercury has to go retrograde in Pisces, because it's like, maybe you really do need to sleep. Maybe you really do need to like clear out your phone and not be on it for a few days. Like maybe this is definitely a time for needing the spiritual regeneration, and then making that a priority. I feel like on this Pisces new moon, that needs to be a priority for everyone for over the next 2 weeks, that you are going to spiritually regenerate yourself, that you are going to rest and take care of yourself so that you can really truly decide what narratives are yours, which ones aren't anymore, what is a part of the past, what is a part of the present, what is a dream and what is an illusion, what is lust, what is love. And Pisces season, all of these questions come up, all of this duality comes up. And I feel like we need these next 2 weeks to kind of like ruminate in certain things and figure out what is it that really it does feel true. What is it that is really truly there? So I know me, I've been on my phone a lot lately, and it's disgusting to me. Like when I'm on the phone too much, I literally start to rage with resentment. Like I start to feel like, why am I on my phone so much? Like, and I've just been, and that's another thing. I feel like a lot of people could be indulging a lot right now with Mercury retrograde. It's like people could be spending a lot of time on their phone or like watching stuff. Pisces could literally be left alone for a week and entertain themselves. Pisces would literally binge watch something for 20 different shows, be on the internet. Like a Pisces, you could leave a Pisces alone in a basement and they will find a way to entertain themselves. So when Mercury is retrograde in Pisces, like people are really indulging. People could be really indulging in like ways to escape, ways to just take their mind off something. I literally already rewatched The Magician since Pisces season started, all 3 seasons again. I have watched the whole 3 seasons, and it's like, why? Why am I even doing that? Like, I don't need to do that. I need to read a book. And it's like, but it just feels good to do nothing. Like it feels good in Pisces season to do nothing. It feels good to just, go into some type of portal and just look at the visuals and just look at the aesthetics and not think about your own life and not think about anything going on with you. It's easier to just kind of like go and watch something you enjoy. But I also feel like it's important right now for people to not like shrink themselves, to not feel small for what they're feeling and not feel small for what their dreams are, because a lot of people right now could have like very, very small dreams, but those little small dreams mean a whole lot. And they're pretty big. They're big for your life. It doesn't matter how anything could be perceived on a bigger scale. What Pisces what teaches people is that it matters how everyone feels. It matters how everybody feels. Like everybody's feelings needs to be taken into consideration. How everybody feels matters, because if you gather how everyone feels, you will understand the overall collective feeling. When you take into consideration how everyone feels, the main collective feeling. That's mutable water, where it's like, I feel you and I feel you too. And damn, I feel you too. And it's just like Gemini does that with people with how they think. Like, damn, I see what they think. I get that. But Pisces is like, damn, I feel you. I feel what you mean by that. I feel how you feel about that. And this is a time right now where it's like a lot of people are in the analysis stage of all of what they feel, how they feel towards these people, how they feel towards this in their life, how they feel towards themselves. And it's that there's a lot of emotional processing, that goes on with Pisces, because it's like, Pisces wants to understand how they feel through looking at how everybody else feels, because Pisces will think about, well, damn, this person felt this way. These people feel this way. All right, what do I feel? But they'll like consider how everyone else feels, So this is a time right now where make sure that you're not doing that in a way to where you're not like validating what you feel. Make sure that you're not letting like how other people's feelings are like make yours how yours are. Make sure that you are separating that. Make sure that you know, yes, this is what is going on, but this is how you feel. Make sure there's that boundary there, because what does Pisces lack the most? Boundaries. No boundaries, no type of boundaries. Like, it has taken me my whole life to even understand boundaries, like to even be able to recognize what a boundary is, because I had none my whole life. No type of boundaries. Like, not even in my childhood, not in any type of way. I had to literally like learn what is a boundary. What does that look like? Like, how do you talk about that? What is that? Because that was nothing I had ever known in my life. So when we have this big new moon and it's with Neptune, a lot of people right now could be overstepping their own boundaries. You could be overstepping other type of boundaries and not realizing it. You know, it's very easy to get caught up in Neptune's world. Like, it's very, very easy to get pulled in to the Neptune world, because Neptune is that voice. Neptune is that voice that tells you this shit doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. Neptune will get you to play Russian roulette. Neptune will get you to consider why you're living, why you have a life. Neptune is a very sneaky energy where it's like Neptune will make people wonder why they're doing certain things. Like, Neptune will make you question and doubt yourself and doubt your dreams. Neptune will make you change the whole course of your life. Like, it's that voice of doubt, and it's that voice of, are you sure? And it's that voice of like, and it's also in the way of like, you could dream bigger, you could do better, you know, you could, and it's that sound of like, where you start to get disconnected from reality and you start to listen to higher energy, you start to listen to the higher force, and that's in the area of where nothing is promised. You know, because Neptune can't promise anything. Saturn can promise you something. Saturn can be like, okay, I'm going to give you this. This is our contract. This is what you need to perform. This is what you need to do, and I will get this for you. Like, Saturn has rules and regulation and has trust. With Neptune, there is no fucking trust there. Like, Neptune could pull out at any second. At any second, Neptune might change its mind. Neptune, you may say, meet me here at 3:00. You go there, did not show, no show. You never will know with Neptune. You never will know. The only way that Neptune really, truly, like, you can trust is if you trust yourself. Like, if you trust your own emotional process, then, and you listen to your intuition, like, then you will match Neptune's frequency. But it's like the only way to be on the frequency of Neptune is to truly, truly like dissolve every single outside noise and only listen to the very, very subtle sound of like the echo. Like, it's very hard to truly connect with Neptune and to channel that energy, because it's like, it's very unpredictable. Neptune will make you throw away your life. Neptune will make you throw away your life to go chase a dream. And then Neptune will be like, I didn't make you do that. I didn't make you do that. Twiddling the fingers. I didn't make you do that. And that's the sacrifice energy, where it's like, you sacrificed yourself. You believed in something. You now live with it. You take responsibility for it. Like, that's kind of like the energy of Neptune in a way, where it's like, I'm going to show you, I'm going to entice you, I'm going to bring you to the magic, but it's your choice whether you go towards it or not. And that's why we really do create our own luck, and we really do create our own magic, because Neptune is very much so the magic, and Neptune is not reliable. So magic is not a reliable source. Magic, faith, belief is not reliable in this realm within this physical world. Like, you cannot always count on your beliefs. Like, you cannot always count on Neptunian things. You cannot always count on like, well, I feel this way, so it will be. That's not how this world works. Like, that's not how this world works at all. This world, like, is very much so things are happening at a rapid level and you need to adapt and you need to keep up. So when some things are being drawn out, like Neptune's definitely not going to save you. It's definitely not going to save you. This is a new moon where it's like, if you're going to drown, you already know it. You already know it because you feel it. Like there is no, like Neptune doesn't pull you out of the water. Like, because Neptune is going to be like, well, you got there. I don't know. Nothing. Life is a joke. Life doesn't matter. Oh, well, see you in the next life. Like, people don't realize Neptune is just as much as a savage as Pluto is. So, this is a new moon where I feel like also a lot of people are remembering certain dreams that they have always had. Like, a lot of people right now are in a space where they're wanting to like connect with their real, true, like the real state of being, what really makes you happy, what really makes you smile, what really makes you like, what would you do for absolute free? Like, if money wasn't involved, what would you do? If there was no rules to love, how would you love? If there was really truly no boundaries, who would you be? Like, who would you be? That's the Pisces in people. That is the Neptune energy. If there was really no limits, who would you be? That's something to think about. Like, that's something to think about and that's what Neptune wants you to think about. Neptune doesn't want you to like, see, okay, because this is how it will be. Like, this is what happens in Pisces people's lives too. There will be some portal that opens. There will be some type of dream, some opportunity. And Neptune will be like, okay, there's a dream. Are you going to go for it? Or are you going to be stuck in this real world? Are you going to believe? Are you going to go towards it? But the thing is that you have to have your own discernment, because the thing is that let's say you don't go into that. Neptune will bring you something else. Like, Neptune is a gift that keeps giving. So sometimes there's a lot of test with Pisces energy. There's a lot of test because you may think that this is the dream. This is the only way. This is how happening. And it's like, but do you think that this is your only shot? Like, do you think that this is just a one-way ticket? Because it's not. And that's ultimately what Neptune wants to show you, is that nothing is a one-way ticket. Nothing. And there's no easy escape, even death. Even if you kill yourself, that's not the easy escape. There's always going to be more and more and more. Even if it's not in this life, even if it's in the next life, either way, there's no easy escape. There really isn't until it's time. And we don't have the control over that. Like, even though when we think we have the control over that, you don't have the control over that. So this is that energy of like, don't trick yourself. Don't trick yourself, because like some things can look like they're shining and they're not. Like not everything that glitters is gold, right? It's that sort of feeling where it's like Neptune is going to drag you through hell. Like, Neptune is going to make you go into so many illusions and fail and sacrifice until you finally stop chasing some type of high and connect with who you really are. Like, which is infinite, which isn't a one-way ticket, which isn't like an opportunity. Because it's the bare essence of your nature. It's your real, true spiritual nature. Neptune wants you to stand in your spiritual nature and be flexible and be fluid and realize that everything is in a constant state of movement and change. And that what seems like an open door could really be a trap. And sometimes what seems like a trap is really an open door. And there's really no way to decipher for it whether you just have the discernment or not. So Neptune is the one. Like, Pluto will put you through a lot of dark pain. Like, Pluto will make you feel your ego. Like, Pluto will make you feel like destroyed and humiliated, or Pluto will pull out like the things in you that are buried very deep. Pluto makes people go through things and learn hard lessons and learn things in hard ways. Whereas Neptune makes you go through things and you look back at it like, was that even real? Like, was that even me? Like, it almost, you look back at things like it really was just an illusion. And it's like only in that understanding you realize now what is not an illusion. So sometimes you have to get dragged through an illusion just to find your reality. Like sometimes people have to lose themselves into certain things so that they really can understand what's going on. You know, some people don't automatically know how to decipher what is real and what isn't in their lives. Like not everybody comes from guidance, you know, not everybody comes from a space where they have learned discernment, where they have learned how to activate their intuition. There's a lot of people who, you know, come up in this world and they really don't know how to do that. And this all has to be learned. This is why people have to go through that type of stuff. But, you know, it's still a new moon, and it is a time for new perspectives. I think all in all, new perspectives. It's very important right now for people to have a new perspective. But I also think it's a time to like give up, and it's a time to give up whatever still feels like a strain. Like whatever feels like a real honest strain right now in your life without purpose. Like if there's something that just is a strain and it doesn't actually serve you in any way and you just feel a strain towards it, give it up. Like, because Pisces season is really supposed to be like this time where everybody really heals on a mass level. Like this is supposed to be a season where everybody surrenders and falls inward and accepts and forgives and really truly, like, imagine if you took like a 2-week long vacation and all you did was trip on shrooms the whole time. That's Pisces energy. Like imagine if you literally went somewhere on a trip, isolated, and you did nothing but psychedelics. You would come back a different person. That's how it's supposed to be going into Aries season. You're literally supposed to step into the new year a different person. So you're not really supposed to step into the end of March how you started this January. You're supposed to be a different person. Pisces season is supposed to change you. And the reason it's supposed to change you is because you need to go towards certain experiences. You need to be open to certain like portals. You may need to be open to certain illusions because you need to be changed. You need to get your perspective changed. What card is Pisces? The moon, but also the hangman in the tarot. What is the hangman? It's just there waiting to change its mind. It needs to change its perspective. What does it need to do? It needs to experience something. It needs to look around differently. So it's like right now, like a lot of you, I'm not telling you to don't fall for illusions, because maybe you need to go fall for an illusion right now. Maybe you need that. Maybe you need to go towards something right now that seems risky. And maybe you need to do something that makes no sense. And maybe you need to even get your feelings hurt. Like that's the thing too. It's like, it's a time right now where some things need to be shaken up. It's a new moon. It's all about the mutable water. People right now are needing to like try things in a more surrendered way. So this is definitely a time to be open to feeling differently about the past, whether it's the present moment, whether it's the future, really challenging yourself to feel different and to maybe like scale the heights in a new way and look at things in a new way, especially because this is a new moon with Neptune, where it's like, you know, probably how you really thought it was is not how it is. And I feel like over the next 2 weeks, a lot of people are going to be very, very surprised. Like something that you really thought was how it is, it's not. I'm telling you right now, everybody right now in your life, there is an area in your life where you really think that something is as it is, and it is not. It is not. That's for everyone right now, because it's Pisces season and everything is like up for perspective. Everything is up for, it may change. It may all of a sudden bring a different emotion. There may be a surprise to this. There may be a twist to this. So everyone in their life right now, know that there is some sort of door in your life that you think you know how it's going to go, but you don't know how it's going to go. And the thing is that don't look at that as a way to be like doubtful. Don't look at that as a way to be fearful. Look at that as that's your greatest escape, is that this may actually work out better than you expected. And there may actually be an amazing answer and an amazing opportunity that is on its way finding you that you know nothing about yet. So it's also about like keeping your frequency in a positive state, because it's very easy in Pisces energy to like sink, you know, and that's the two fish. It's like if you don't stay on the uprise, if you don't stay moving up, then you're just going to start to go down and down and down. And before you know it, you are now the fish under in the underworld. You know, one fish is like swimming through the ocean, and the other one is down in the underworld. Nobody knows where it is. Nobody knows how that fish feels. Nobody knows that fish. Like that fish only comes out when there is when it gets summoned through an intense, chaotic, emotional experience. That's the only time that fish has to get summoned. So like the Pisces, the good fish is always trying, always swimming, pushing forward, optimistic, seeing everything in the water. And the other one is like the propeller, like the engine that's keeping that one alive. So what keeps Pisces alive is the darkness of them, is the evil, if you want to call it that, of them. That is what is always pumping. And that fish only comes out when it gets summoned. So some shit has happened, and now the emotions have been, that's like the chaotic mutable water, where now that engine is like, now that fish gets summoned out. So that's the thing. That's why everything with Pisces is like, it's not as it seems, because there's always that like that element to that, where it's like people really get lost in illusions. Like I cannot say it enough. And it's like, I can say that because I'm someone, my whole life I was getting lost in illusions. Even to this day, sometimes I get lost in illusions. Like it's literally in my energy too. And it's so easy to get caught up in something. It's so easy. And then it's like you forget certain things. That's why Mercury falls in Pisces, because it's forgetful. It just forgets. Like it doesn't even remember it. It's like some crazy shit could have happened. They don't even remember. People have told me stuff about me before, certain things that I've said, certain things that I've done, and I literally have zero memory of it. Like I'll just have to kind of believe them, because I'll be like, damn, I don't even remember that. Like I have no memory of that, you know? And it's like, because Mercury in Pisces is like in this constant trance, you know, this constant trance of this state of movement, and it's channeling energies, and it's trying to get where it's going, and it's swimming through, and it's processing. So it's like a lot of the details just get missed. A lot of the stuff that like it just starts to lose. It just starts to not be there, you know. And I think that when Mercury is finally direct later this month, oh my God, a lot of people are going to not give a fuck about a lot of things anymore. Like certain people that you've been checking up on, you are not going to be checking up on those people anymore. Or certain ideas that you've been entertaining, like if you've been like low-key lying to yourself in any way, like telling yourself you're going to do something, telling yourself that you're going to like, but you know deep inside you're not really going to do that, that is going to be gone. Like that is not going to live anymore. It doesn't have a lifespan anymore, because Mercury retrograde in Pisces is going to get rid of all of that. Get rid of all of those delusions that is just chatter in your mind. It's just deluding you mentally. It's just fogging up your headspace. It's not real. Like it's not a real focus. It's not a real like divine. It's not a divine channel to that. Like there's not a divine source or a connect to that. You don't have a pure plug to that. So it's like, that's another thing that's going on too, is that a lot of people are gonna, and then the thing is, this is good though, because when people finally start being honest and finally get the fog out of their head, now you have more space to actually see what you are working with. Like now you actually can have the understanding, and now you can actually grasp an idea and work towards it. Like now something is not just floating around as a possibility, but there's an actual, you know, a better understanding of it. A lot of people right now, you know, are really wanting that. They want a better understanding, which you're not going to really have the understanding of it until like Gemini season is when we start to understand stuff. Like we actually start to think about it and communicate and learn more about it. But what I feel for the rest of Pisces season is like people need to get done whatever they know needs to get done. If you have anything that is like overdue, if you have anything that you know needs to be closed out, you know there needs to be some type of closure. If you feel that there are certain things that are on an open end, like certain things have not really ended, that's what Pisces season is for. Pisces season is for saying your goodbyes. Pisces season is for saying your sorries. Pisces season is for looking at yourself and forgiving yourself and saying, okay, I'm going to move on now. I'm going to let go. Like Pisces season is for when you have to do those things. You can't just stay in autopilot and then wait for Aries season to be, you know, fake empowered. You have to go through the Pisces waters. You have to really face those demons. You have to really face those feelings. And the thing is that that's the only way to have real peace. Like Pisces season, if you really want peace, then you have to like clear out certain things, because it gets too like, you know, water can get contaminated. Like water can get contaminated. If you pour poison in water, not only are you going to kill whatever's living in that water space, but now you have really damaged the water. Like water is so sensitive like that. Like it gets contaminated, it gets poisoned. So it's like in Pisces season, we have to figure out where we are still drinking poison in our life, where we are still living in some type of poisons. And we need to clean the water. We need to get chlorine and we need to clear out the water. Like this is literally a time, this is a season where people have to clear their water out and filter it and do chlorine. And, you know, this is like bleach type of energy. Or you're going to have contaminated water. But then I also feel like anything that I say in this video tonight is absolutely irrelevant. Like I feel like anything that I say today it means nothing. And the reason that I think it means nothing is because there's just going to be such a portal over the next 2 weeks that anything really can happen. Like a miracle can happen, a tragedy can happen. You know, a lot of change. Expect change because this is a mutable season. So there is going to be change, and we're having a Mercury retrograde. So there is going to be change. Like there's really no way around it. One thing though that I think is important is that, you know, Pisces needs to know that they're loved. Like Pisces has to feel loved, or they start to feel like Pisces has to feel loved. They have to connect. They have to like have at least 1 or 2 close people. They have to like be able to really connect, because if not, then they just feel like they're lost, you know, that there's no home, there's nothing connecting, there's nothing like keeping them here in this reality. Like what keeps Pisces here in reality is their emotions, like what they attach to. So if they don't feel attached to anybody emotionally, that's a very negative space for Pisces to be in, because then they feel like there's no point in me being here. Like there's no point, because it's so easy to go anywhere. So it's like, I have to care. I have to like love someone. I have to feel loved, because if not, then it's like, I'm just out all alone, you know? So let me go over here really quick. So the reason that I titled this, Neptune swims in the underworld, form is tissue thin. I'm going to read to you all. I'm going to read to you all 16 degrees, because that's where the sun has already moved to, and it's conjunct Neptune right now. The new moon was at 15 degrees, but I'm going to read to you all 16 degrees of Pisces. By the way, this is my Neptune degrees. I mean, not Neptune, my Saturn. Okay, so this is the interpretation for Pisces 16 degrees. It's titled, A Peaceful Child on a Narrow Ledge That Overlooks a Precipice. Fate has set the pattern. You are held fast by fate. Yet inwardly, you are so deeply and fundamentally free that you are actually submitting to your fate from a true and pure place. The situation you pull in is outwardly severe. You are a vast being trapped in a tiny form, and you cannot really go anywhere or do anything to change this. Instead, you are released by your outward bondage to dream, to remember, to envision, and to make cosmic connections. The inner life is boundlessly rich. The outer life is starkly poor, but you live within, make good on the past, cleanse and open, and know that nothing is as it seems, and form is tissue thin. So you see, this is a time of massive dissolving, like massive dissolving, where it's like there is no words really. I cannot like tell you all, because this is all happening on such an unconscious and personal emotional level in everybody's life, where it's like, you know, you may wake up a few days from now and like not even really know. You just may not know certain things anymore. You know, you may just not know, and that's okay. Like, it's okay to not know. But I really do feel like this Mercury retrograde, it's important to use this time to find a flow, find an ease. It's very important to like go into an ease right now. Find a pattern. Find a pattern. Like, even if you incorporate something in your day now that gives you more sense of a pattern, like that you can do and enjoy. This is all about finding your flow and your essence and your patterns to work with. Because if you don't have some type of pattern, you may just get all over the place. You may go all over the place. And nobody needs that right now. So let me look over here. Okay, I'm going to pull cards for all the signs. I know me, all I've wanted to do lately is sleep. Sleep. That's all. Sleep. And then my sleep schedule has been really, really messed up. Like, I'm literally going to bed at like 4 a.m. and it's like I need to go to bed earlier than that. You know, it's just a time of like a lot of change. Like, a lot of things are like in a state of change. And like, when it's in a state of change, that means it's not consistent and it's not reliable. So this is a time right now of like, you know, don't really rely on something right now. Don't rely on anything but your own intuition, because everything is kind of like up in the air. You can only really go with your own intuition right now. So like, this is a time where it's going to feel awful to push. It's going to feel very uncomfortable to force. Because that doesn't feel good. You can't force the ocean. Like, you can't force that. Like, so when you try, it's going to feel almost impossible. It's going to feel impossible to push anything. It needs to be done in a divine flow, or it needs to be left alone until the time is right. So things right now, some things are falling into perfect alignment. Some things are falling into absolute perfect alignment. And it's because they're finally truly in alignment, you know? But then other things just feel like they're somewhere and you have no idea what's going on. You have no idea what's going on. Let me shuffle these. I'm in such a conscientious space, you know, because like Pisces is my third house, you know. I'm a sun in the third house. So the way that I like the Pisces for me, Pisces energy for me is all in my mind. Like my mind is imaginative. My mind goes into illusions because it's my third house. Like my upbringing, like I lived in my own world because I didn't want to live like where I was living, if that makes sense. So it's like third house Pisces, like I have the mind and the communication of and the like instincts and the lower mind Pisces energies. So like this for me, like if any of you are a Capricorn rising and Pisces is your third house, so this is happening in your third house, this is more of a like when there's so many possibilities, there's so much imagination, there's so much, you know, portals, there's so many trances, there's so many like lines of frequency, there's so many like for me, even though I'm a water sign, like all my water houses, like even though I'm a water sign, my sun is in an air house. So like I play out this energy mentally and in how I speak. You know what I mean? So for me, this new moon is more like I'm trying to communicate it, but it's also an energy that can't be communicated. Like it's kind of an energy that can't be communicated because it's moving so fast and it's so changeable that, let me put it this way. This next today and tomorrow is going to feel like a daze. Like a lot of people probably didn't even feel like it was a new moon today. Like, you know, usually when it's a full moon or a new moon, people really feel it. Like people will be like, oh, I feel this. Like I know that y'all felt the Virgo full moon more than you felt this today. Like this full moon is, I mean, this new moon is not like, it's not coming with this big, powerful. Pisces is always best in retrospect. Like Pisces is the type of energy where when you look back, you really understand. Or when you remember the conversation after you never thought about it for years, now you really hear what was said. You know, it's like Pisces is better in a retrospective. Like, so this is a new moon where it's not going to be immediate. Like it's not going to be this feeling of like change. It's not going to be this feeling of like, this is more of like something is unraveling. And it's all sort of like coming into this unraveled space. And you're going to have to like live with the strain until the future reveals itself. And you're going to have to like live with the exhaustion until it releases. And, you know, Pisces sometimes kind of finds themselves in these traps, like these time traps where it's like they have to endure a certain feeling until it's over. Like, and it's that type of feeling right now where a lot of you may feel like you're in a state of enduring something, like you're like in a state where you may not want to be. You know, you're in a state where you may not have real clarity. You may not have real comfort there, but you're moving through it. Like you're learning yourself. You're going through the experience, you know? So this is a new moon where I feel like a lot of people are moving into like a deeper, more far out version of an experience. You're moving now more out, you know, into the like, in a deep, like farther out form of it. So I feel like though by this weekend when the moon is in Aries and the moon goes over Chiron, that's going to be felt, you know, that's going to be felt definitely. And then it's going to make it sextile to Venus. So I feel like there's going to be more energy and more personal initiative, and there's going to be more sense of identity as we get closer to the weekend. But from today and tomorrow, don't try to have all the answers. Don't try to like manifest a whole bunch of stuff. Don't really try to like, the best advice I could give is that if something does come up and it really sparks your attention and it's an opportunity, then take it. Like, if something comes up and it feels like you feel some type of intuitive pull to go towards it or to have that conversation or to do something, then do that. But don't push it. Like, don't force anything. Don't try to make certain things move if they're not moving that way, because it's like it's going to move right or it's not. So you can't really force it. But this is a time to kind of be open for surprises, be open for something to change how you feel, be open to have a different perspective, but at the same time, don't try to force it. because it's going to come to you. That's another thing about Pisces, is like Pisces, the 12th house is like the trash can of the zodiac. It's the last house. So it's where everything filters through. So Pisces, you know, it's kind of like you can go to a junkyard and find something that's worth a whole lot of money and somebody just threw it away. Like it's almost like you let certain things come to you, and there will be bad things that come, but at the same time there will be gems that come too, and you didn't have to do anything for it. It just fell right in your lap. So, you know, this is also a new moon of that, where some of you, like, by you doing nothing, you will receive everything. You will receive something very important. You're going to get something you really want by not pushing, by not trying. Like sometimes Pisces just gets what they want without trying, simply because it was a pure, genuine wish. They genuinely felt like it was going to happen. They genuinely in their heart felt that way. So the universe corresponds to that. The universe corresponds to real purity, real true authenticity. When a person really feels some type of way and it's coming from a real space and it's unconditional, it's a pure space, the universe is going to correspond to that and work in that vibration with you. So this is a time to kind of like release anything that's not really vibrating and purely in your heart. Like if it's not really a real pure vibration to you, this is a time to like kind of take a look at your habits, and not even just this new moon, but through the Mercury retrograde, like really try to look at your habits and ask yourself where maybe you are pushing things, or maybe where you are like not seeing things, and try to release yourself and surrender and find some type of peace in yourself enough to kind of just vibrate from a space of love and purity, and not really expect anything, and not really like push at anything, but kind of allow for the universe to align with you and show you and find the right plug for you. You know, sometimes it's better not to try. Okay, I'm going to do cards after this. Okay, let's start with Aries. Aries, sun, moon, and rising. I'm going to pull a card. I feel the need to say that a lot of you, within the next 2 to 3 weeks, your life is going to change. Like your life is changing already, but there's going to be something significant in your life that changes. And this may not be on a physical level, but this is going to be something that is within your heart. Like this is going to be something that you feel. Like you feel a way that you never felt before, or you feel a way, like a feeling that you can't avoid, a feeling that you can't change. There's going to be some type of change and significance in that change over the next 2 to 3 weeks. And this is going to all be happening through the subconscious realm. This is going to be certain signs that come up that are very hidden and secretive to you. But come 2 to 3 weeks from now, it's going to make sense, and you will find that you're in a different space. I also feel like a lot of you over the next 2 weeks, you're going to find some type of just settling in. You know, it's kind of like that. You know, when you take something out of the oven and you have to let it cool on the counter, that type of feeling. Like there's something right now cooking in the oven, and we're to kind of like this new moon in Pisces is kind of like when you take it out. And then now over the next 2 weeks, you're letting it cool on the counter. And then come the Libra full moon, you get to eat it. It's almost like it's that type of feeling. Ace of Pentacles just popped out. I feel like that's for everybody, though, not just Aries. Ooh, Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune. So for Aries, a shift is near. A shift is very, very near. And it's for the divine. It's for the highest good. This is like when the beloved really starts to turn things around. This is when you get that good news, you get that burst of energy you need, you get that sign that you need. Wheel of Fortune for you, Aries, makes me feel like there's about to be a turn and there's about to be a shift, and you have to trust that it's for your favor and it's for your highest good, even if it feels like it's from out of nowhere, or even if it feels kind of chaotic. There's a shift that's coming in now, and it is for your best, highest good. So allow yourself to move with the divine time and not your own time, because being on divine time right now is what's going to align you in the most perfect positions of your life. So if you want to be in that perfect space, if you want to kind of get to where you need to be, where you're meant to be, then trust the processes and allow certain shifts to come now and certain changes happen now without your resistance to it. Because your resistance is going to mess up the divine flow, and the divine has a better plan for you right now. The divine is moving things around for you right now so that you can have your rise, so you can have your next chance. Certain things are happening right now so that you are up on the other side of it, so that you turn around on it. So don't fight it or resist it, because it's something moving from beyond you. Taurus. Taurus, we have 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands. So a lot of whatever's going on right now for you all, it's just happening very fast. This makes me feel like this is very fast change, fast income, fast communication, things happening at a Godspeed. This is like moving at the speed of light. This makes me feel, Taurus, if like something feels very, very stuck, let it go. Because the things that are meant to be moving in your life right now are happening on instant. They're in alignment. They're happening fast. Like it's happening. It's in alignment. It's the work of God. It's the work of the universe. So anything that you're pushing right now, or it feels real stuck, or if it feels rigid, it's because it's not in the highest alignment. So this is a time right now to kind of like take your hands out of it, like pull your hands out of it, take off your gloves, you know, kind of like throw in the towel and stop pushing things, because everything that's supposed to be happening right now is happening instantly. It's happening exactly as it should. And it's not in your control at all. Like it has nothing to do with having your part in it. You don't have a part in it almost. It's like this is saying that the universe is making certain things just happen and align. And all you're needing to do is just be where you are in each moment. Like just be in your present state in each moment, and things are going to start aligning and shifting for you without your effort at all. So trust in the divine timing of things too for you as well. It's like certain timelines are wanting to collapse in your life, and you have to let them too, Taurus. Gemini. Gemini, we have 3 of Cups. This makes me feel like you all need to... 3 of Cups makes me feel like you're not having enough fun. This makes me feel like maybe you all feel like you don't have enough connections in your life. Like you don't have enough, like... This could be a time, like all this Pisces energy may make you be in the mood to go out and have fun and communicate and enjoy yourself. This makes me feel like a lot of you right now wish you had something to celebrate. Like you want to have a good time. You want to be in a fun space. You want to feel like there's something to celebrate. This makes me feel, don't be shy, Gemini. Like if you want to have fun, if you want to do something, if you feel some urge to talk to certain people or connect with certain people or start hanging out at a certain space, like if there's something that's enticing you as far as a connection goes, then go towards that. This makes me feel like you have support around you. You have certain friends around you. You have certain like associates even around you that you can mingle with, that you can connect with, that you can share laughter with. So this is making me feel like some of you just need to have, over the next 2 weeks, you need to plan to do something really fun. You need to plan to do something really fun, and you need to either get a group involved, or you need to bring like the closest people to you and really do something fun. It kind of feels like you need to get out of your element for a little bit and just enjoy yourself. It's almost like you're needing to go and laugh. I'm seeing it as like needing to laugh and have a good time. Or this could also mean that there's some type of event coming up soon. There's some type of meeting. There's some type of like you're gonna have a connection. You're gonna go somewhere. You're gonna share a certain experience with 1 or 2 individuals, and it's gonna be a really good time, and it's gonna be filled with like enthusiasm and good energy. So don't be a hermit, Gemini, over the next 2 weeks. Like really try to connect with people. If people are wanting to connect with you, don't necessarily be turning yourself off to that, because there may be certain connections that are good for you now. And the Justice card just came out. So this also makes me feel like there's going to be certain faded connections here. Cancer. Six of Swords. I don't think I've pulled any major arcana so far. Cancer, 6 of Swords. That makes me think of the song Slowly Drifting Away, wave after wave. I feel like Cancers could use a vacation right now. Cancers could use a space where they can kind of like lose their mind. Cancer, I feel like your focus right now is that pushing forward till you reach better days, like pushing forward and like keeping a clear head on your shoulders, keeping a good head on your shoulders until you get to where you want to be into the future. So this kind of makes me feel like for you all, there's almost like there's a path that you're traveling right now. There's some type of mental train that you're on, a mental frequency, a line of thought, a trance in your mind that you're following, and you're hoping that it gets you on the other side, it gets you to the silver lining, it gets you on the other side of the tunnel, the white light. But this makes me feel like that's coming. So if you all are in not the best headspace right now, keep pushing yourself out of it. Like keep going towards wherever you're going. You're going to get to a better place. This makes me feel like whatever you know in your mind you need to move away from, you're doing that already. And it's really just a matter of time for when you hit that destination of you're finally out of the troubled waters. You're finally out of that headspace. So this is really about self-care though, mentally self-caring. So 6 of Swords makes me feel like for Cancers, it may be really good to disconnect from social media. It may be really good to disconnect from anything that's too, and this is just all through, I feel like this is applying for all through Mercury retrograde for all of the signs. Like for Cancer, it may be better to not indulge in any technology too much, not in anything too social, kind of free your mind. Maybe try to start listening to more meditations or like just instrumental music and stuff like that. Because your mind is really trying to find a way out towards like a better space. So try not to fill it with a lot of background noise. Try not to fill your mind with a lot of distractions or things like that, because that's going to help you get to where you're trying to go and feel better. So Leo. Leo, we have 9 of Wands. 9 of Wands, but bottom of the deck with that, the Magician. Leos cannot give up right now. Leo cannot give up right now. There's something that for Leos, it's like you have to keep going. You cannot fold. But the thing is like I also feel like for a lot of Leos right now, there's this feeling kicking in of you're afraid that you might fail, or you are afraid that like you're not seeing something. So there's a little bit of like inner psychological paranoia with Leos right now, especially because we just got out of Aquarius season. You know, we had that full moon in Leo. It's almost like certain things you don't know how certain they are, but you know you've really been working or you've been pushing, and it's like you're in this space where there's been so much there's been so much an exhaustion of your energy, and you've been pushing and like trying to be the best that you can be, to the point where it's like, you know, now you're in this position where you can't just cop out. Like, you can't just give up on yourself because you've fought too hard. You've gotten this far. Like, you can't stop now. So it's almost like really like staying down until the come up, like kind of just staying down until you get to the come up. But there is a lot of pressure in that. And a lot of you right now, you think that people are seeing you in a certain way, and they're not. Like certain ways, like it's almost like you're carrying a certain weight, so you're not seeing certain things how they are actually staged, you know, because there's a lot of this emphasis added. Like, you guys have a little bit of this like push energy on you right now. So what I would say is let people help you. Like, the people that you do trust, talk with them, like connect with them. Don't isolate yourself into a world of pressure. Because then it's just going to get worse for you. Like, it's going to feel like more pressure. So right now you may need certain people in your corner to let you know, like, hey, I don't think you're seeing it that way. Like, I don't think you're really seeing it. Or like, hey, I don't think you should worry about that. Like, you may need to maybe confide in someone that you know will be truthful with you, just to make sure that you are level-headed and that you're not putting a whole bunch of like pressure on yourself that doesn't need to be there, Leo. So that's really about taking care of yourself and not pushing more on you that you need to carry. There also could be a feeling of guilt for some of you all right now. Like, you're just carrying certain feelings because you've been trying so hard and pushing so hard. And it's like, you can kind of let that go, Leo. Like, you don't have to carry so much of that weight anymore, because it's inevitable that you're going to get through this and succeed. So you're very, very close to breaking through something. You're very close to like finally finding the relief. But it is requiring that for like the next at least 2 to 3 weeks, you keep up on something, like stay on it, like stay on the guard of something, stay on it. Don't lose momentum yet. And if you've been feeling like giving up, you can't just give up quite yet. Give it a little bit more time. Give it a little bit more of your effort. Virgo sun, moon, and rising. Ugh, for Virgos right now, Virgo, we have 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords to say Mercury is in Pisces, the opposite of you. There is so much that is coming to an end. There's so much in your mind that is dead. It is dead. It's been dead. It's dead. It's dead. There's no life pulse there. For Virgo, it's like, for you all, this new moon energy, it's like, there's certain things in your life right now where you know it will never be that way ever again. Like, it will never be that way again. So anything that you're mentally like feeling bad about, if you've been letting a certain memory or a certain way of thinking really beat you down, Virgo, because this makes me feel like for some Virgos right now, there could be this like mental agony or this feeling of like you're really, really being hard on yourself about something. You're putting a lot of pressure. You have a lot of like guilt, or you feel a lot of energy towards something in your mind that you can't change. This is kind of like accepting the defeat, Virgo. Accepting a certain defeat, accepting that something in your mind, it's either that has already ended or that you can't change that. There's almost this needing to accept that. There's a feeling of needing to accept that certain ways that you've always thought now really may be changing. You may have always thought something, Virgo, and over the next 2 weeks you realize that like you really just can't think that anymore because it's not true. Like it's just not true anymore, or it doesn't serve you anymore, or it's caused more destruction than it has good. Therefore, you can't think that way anymore. You have to let it go. So this has a lot to do with the mental constructs. This has a lot to do with your thought forms, and really, really letting the ones that need to die, so that you can stop, you know, thinking with so much like clutter and chat. This makes me feel like Virgos have a lot of chatter in their mind right now, a lot of chatter in their brain. And this is like it's time for you to like cut off certain life support for certain thoughts, certain ways of thinking. You have to cut the cord. Certain doubts and like guilt and stuff, you have to cut the life force, cut it. Like you have to cut it, Virgo, because if you don't, you're just going to feel it beating down on you. You know, it's difficult when like Mercury is in stability. It's difficult for Virgos right now because it's like not only is Mercury in retrograde, where not only Mercury is in Pisces where it's retrograde, I mean where it falls, it's also in retrograde, and this is your opposite sign. So it's like there is no type of holding on to thoughts, Virgo. There is no type of holding on to like, if a certain thought form is outdated in your mind, it's going to be painful to keep it. Like it's going to hurt more to try to force yourself to think a certain way. So Virgos are like literally emptying their mind right now, just emptying it completely. Like, I know nothing, I surrender. Like hands up, don't shoot. Like hands up, don't shoot. I don't know anything. It's that type of surrender where it's like enough is enough, Virgo, where now you need to empty your mind and allow new thoughts, new information, new ways of seeing the world come in now, because it's like everything is dead. Everything is dead right now with all this Pisces energy. And even if it's not dead, it's lost, and who knows when it'll be found again. So Libra. Libra, we have Father of Swords. Father of Swords. So Libra is needing to be very logical right now. Libra is needing to have mental discernment and mental discipline. Libra, you may be learning something right now. You may be in a state right now where you are paying attention to things. You are focused on something. You're focusing on the truth. But there is a need to remain professional and to remain logical right now over this next 2 weeks until your full moon, Libra. I feel like this is almost saying that don't believe anything unless you have proof. Don't believe anything unless you know it's true. Like if there isn't logic in it, Libra, don't fall for it, because I feel like you, out of everyone, y'all have a full moon coming up where things will be illuminated. And it's like, make sure that you're only believing the truth. And you know that it's real. Like you know that's real, because there is logic in it. There is proof in it. There is rationality in it. Because you guys don't want to go into Aries season and go into your full moon, and in past 2 weeks you went off believing something that didn't have any logic, that didn't have any reason, and then you come up on your full moon like, damn, why did I do that? You know, why did I get lost in that? So this is saying hold true, Libra, like stay close to your chest, like analyze, be fair, be open, be logical in that way. And most of all, have discernment right now, because, Chiron also in Aries, we're going to be going to Aries season soon. You don't want things to escalate. You don't want things to pop off. This is like about maintaining the professionalism, maintaining the clearness, even being a little short. Like you may find that Libras over the next 2 weeks, y'all are a little bit more short. Like y'all aren't really asking that many questions because you're just observing, and you're just taking things in, and you're kind of like peeping game, and you're kind of like seeing what's real or not. And you're in that mental state of analysis where it's like, you don't know what you're going to believe yet, but you know that you're not just going to believe it because you're going to stay in that logical space and make sure that you maintain your mental strength, Libra. I always feel like Libras need to be told to be smart again. Like, because Libra's so smart that sometimes they'll play dumb. And it's like, no, Libra, be smart. Because when you play dumb, you play yourself. Always be smart. Always be the intelligent person that you are. Never play dumb, because when you play dumb, you play yourself. You be smart. If you're smart, be smart at every single moment. Like, never, ever be dumb playing dumb if you're not dumb. Ever. Scorpio. But then again, Libra knows things that other people don't. Like, Libra feels like if they do certain things, then like it's going to shape the social circumstance. Like, it's going to shape certain things. So Libra will sometimes take a certain mental route that only they really know why they're doing that, you know? But Scorpio. I'm thinking of this Libra boy that I used to work with now. I don't know why he just came into my head. I used to work with this Libra boy, and like he was so friendly. Like, at the job, he was so friendly with everyone, and he like wanted to hang out with everyone all the time, and he wanted to be friends with everyone all the time. Like, he was so friendly. But then like I worked with him, like me and him worked together every day. Like, we worked together in shifts, and like he was so friendly and nice, but then all of that was like a facade. Like, all of that was all lies. Like, he was actually really smart, and he actually had like a lot of really like interesting ways about him, and he had a lot of darkness too. Like, he had a lot of pain and stuff, but he was always so friendly and so like on the surface. But then like, let's say he didn't really like someone, he would be nice to them, but then when they would walk away, he would be like, bitch, you know? And it was like, I would always be like, why are you like that? Like, why are you like that? Like, be like that. Like, show people that you are like better than them in a way. Like, to me, that always felt like, show that person that they're not shit. Like, why are you like gassing them up? But then again, that's like the Libra charm, because that's like the Libra, that's the whole gift of it, is that like they'll make you feel like they're feeling you, and they're not feeling you. They're not feeling you. And then that's the satisfaction enough that like you think they're feeling you, but they're not feeling you. And it's like, but I would always see it. Like, Like, I know he does, like, he's just like playing that part, but like that's the whole gift of it. So I feel like for you all right now, you may still be in like your friendly space, but you may also be a little short with people. Like, you know, have a good day, like, but not being too much into the friendly bag, being a little bit more detached from people. Yeah. He was cool though. He was cool. A lot of cards are popping out now, but I don't think it's for Libra. They're just popping out. Scorpio. Scorpio, we have 3 of Pentacles. I'm sorry, y'all. These cards are boring tonight. This is boring. Like, when I'm done with these cards, I want to talk with the chat. Like, there's no major arcana coming out. Like, this ain't it. Like, this is not it. But 3 of Pentacles for Scorpio. Scorpio needs to network right now. Scorpio, you need to work with people. You need to connect with people right now. People that have done something you want to do, you need to ask them questions. You need to communicate. You need to work with people right now. You need resources. Scorpio. So this is a time where over the next 2 weeks, you're finding resources. You're finding, you're thinking about investments. This is all going to be about growing yourself, like growing yourself, but also with others. So you may need to like work with someone right now. You may need to like, you know, pop pop an idea, like give someone an idea, work with someone. I feel like there's someone in your corner that you can invest with and that you can part with, or not part, merge with. And y'all can come up on an idea or come up on a plan. So some of y'all may be moving. Some of y'all may be deciding you want a new job. Some of you may be deciding you're ready to start some type of project or start some type of goal. But there are people in your immediate surroundings that have resources you need and that have skills you need. And you need to make sure that you are networking with people. You need to make sure that you're not trying to do something completely alone, because there is help nearby. And these are people who will invest in you and people who will help you if they can. So don't work harder, work smarter, Scorpio. And don't feel like you need to do everything alone, because there are people who are close by that will help and want to help. So let people in, Scorpio. Let people in. Let people in. Scorpio, look, and these three just fell out. Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, Five of Cups. I feel like this might be a message for everyone. As soon as we let it go, as soon as we let something go, it's like a whole new world begins. It's like as soon as we just let the past be the past, it's like we open up ourselves into a whole different dimension of love and opportunity. It's like, but that Five of Cups lingers. Let me tell you, Five of Cups lingers in the world of pity. In the world of pity, here lies the Five of Cups for eternity. Like, I just want to write books. Sagittarius. Mother of Wands. So Sagittarius is going to come out on top either way. Sagittarius, I feel like for you all, you need to get your engine going. This is about asserting yourself. This is about having confidence. This is about, you know, no matter your gender, knowing that you are a bad bitch. The Queen of Wands is like unstoppable. You know, the Queen of Wands does whatever she wants. Like the Queen of Wands knows she's going to go get it regardless. So for Sagittarius, I feel like for you all, this is like maybe tapping into your more sexual energy, the more divine feminine sexual energy, where it's like having that confidence and feeling like I'm going to go get it regardless. I'm going to push myself. I'm going to make it happen. If any of you all feel passionate right now, you need to express that. This could also be a person. This could be a fire sign. This could be someone that you have passion for, that you feel some type of way. Like this is about really taking the initiative, Sag, and knowing that you can, and then go doing it with that confidence, with that flame, like really knowing that you can come out and still be on fire. Like this is about knowing that you're already fire, but that you can go through the fire and still be fire. Like that's what I feel for you all right now. Like you are in a space where you're really starting to like, you need to bring up your energy, you know, bringing up your energy. Jupiter is going to go retrograde in like 2 months and Sag. So Sagittarius are going to go through another little energy portal. So I feel like right now you all are needing to really believe you can and like do something about it and show your passion, express your fire. Even if you're in the fire, keep burning. So fire energy coming through for Sagittarius. And Capricorn. The most important thing about Queen of Wands is independence and confidence, period. It's about being independent and being confident, and nobody can take that away from you. So, and I'm hearing the song Through the Wire by Kanye West. Through the wire. Na, 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 na. I feel like that for Sag. So Capricorn. Same as Scorpio. Capricorn and Scorpio need to work together. Okay. Capricorn, you ain't gonna ask anybody for help. You ain't gonna ask anybody for help. But Capricorn, I feel like for you, this is saying that you need to start investing. You need to start putting money in your savings account. This makes me feel like for Capricorn, it may be different from Scorpio, where Scorpio is needing certain resources and needing certain plugs to make certain things happen and like go in certain portals and stuff. But I feel like for Capricorn, this is more about like trusting what you've already learned about business, trusting what you've already invested in, and maybe even like, this to me is like about condensing. This makes me feel like Capricorn, you need to take the rest of this retrograde to really get things in order and clear things out and like secure the bags that you know need to be secured. This is about like the certain connections, making sure that they're on good terms still, making sure. I feel like this is more about this is like the productivity of already impending success, impending investments, impending resources, connections. Like this is more about calling and making sure things are all right. You know, this is like going through, like I'm seeing it like that for you all. Like this is more about like securing and making what already is here stronger, Capricorn, making sure the foundation of things are stronger right now. You know, like not necessarily initiating new ones, but the certain resources and investments that you do have, strengthen them. And maybe you do need to bring someone in to strengthen. Maybe you do need to call someone and ask for advice. Maybe you do need to like get someone to help you, but for the sake of, you need to strengthen whatever is already working for you. Like if it's working already, strengthen it, because it can be strengthened now, and someone may be able to help you, or some type of group or your environment may be able to help you, certain community. I'm always trying to work with a Scorpio. The World card coming out. I'm always trying to work with Scorpios. That's my 11th house and my North Node. So let's see. Aquarius, right? Yes, Aquarius. So Mother of Wands and 10 of Pentacles just came out, Aquarius. I feel like you all are heavy thinking about securing the bag right now. Venus is in your sign, very 10 of Pentacles. Aquarius, I think that it's like you all right now, you want the whole world. Like you want everything that you want, and you want it so fiercely. But it's like it's going to take time, Aquarius. Like even if you have all of the seeds, you need to give them time to grow. And I feel like you all right now have like a lot of energy. Like you feel a lot of, like you have that independent streak thing going on right now, where you just got out of your season and you feel like, all right, I'm going to take over the world. Like, all right, I'm going to get in my bag. I'm going to get my dreams. Like, you know, Aquarius gets in that state of mind, and then like nobody can tell them anything. Like nobody can tell them anything. And I feel like Aquarius, y'all are in this space right now where you're so focused on getting it. Like you're so focused on what you want out of the future that you're so like, it's almost like you're holding a space of authority in the future without really like assessing where you are right now. So don't push so far, Aquarius. Like don't push so far into the future to the point where you're not really acknowledging the present moment. But this still makes me feel like you all are on the right track, though. Like you're in the right energy. You're moving towards certain things. You have the visions. You have the dreams. But this is making me feel like just don't push and blaze so much into the future to the point where like you're missing the present. Like you're missing all of the journey. You're missing all the pieces. Like let's pull one more, though, since those came out. Like they just flew out. And for Aquarius, I'm hearing the song Can't Tell Me Nothing by Kanye West. I'm channeling Kanye West tonight. La, 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 wait till I get my money right. La, 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 then you can't tell me nothing, right? Like, that's what Aquarius ultimately wants. Aquarius wants to know that nobody on earth can tell them anything. Like, Aquarius really feels that way. Like, they feel like nobody needs to tell me anything. Like, I know what I know. I know what I need to know. And Aquarius usually does want to have enough money to feel like nobody can tell them anything. Like, if you can't buy my time, don't tell me nothing. Don't waste it. Like, it's that type of feeling. And then 3 court cards. So there could be people involved. Aquarius, I feel like for you, you're waiting on certain people in the puzzle. Like, there's certain people in the puzzle that are kind of like, you feel you don't know if they're a liability yet, or you don't know if this is in jeopardy. So there's certain people in your life right now, and you're kind of like maneuvering around them. But it's like, at the same time, your idea for the future is very like independent. Like, you have this singular independent future, but you have certain players involved right now. So that's all I'm going to say to Aquarius, because only Aquarius will know what to do with that information. That, roger that. That Aquarius is like, okay. It's like, what do they say? Like, when they're in space, there's like a certain phrase. That's how Aquarius think and speak. So Pisces. And Pisces, for you, we have the Empress card. The Empress, which is saying, create, Pisces. Just keep creating. Just keep creating. And your abundance is just going to flow from out of you. Like, this makes me feel like you are completely full of abundance and wealth and value and creativity. You're oozing value. You're oozing creation. You have the abundance within you to use and utilize and create something out of. So this makes me feel like, Pisces, all you really need to do is just be confident and sure in yourself. Be confident in your creative abilities. Be confident in your ability to manifest. Make sure that, make sure people are coming correct. Make sure you're not letting people come at you any type of way. Make sure that you're holding up a certain standard, that you are a creator. You know that you are valuable. You are abundant. That you are, make sure that you're carrying yourself in that way, and that you're not lowering your boundaries for other people to walk through the garden. Like, this makes me feel, for you, Pisces, this is a time about, protecting your creations, protecting your abundance, protecting it in a way to where you hold yourself to a certain standard and you don't budge on that. So this is about intention. Have intentions for what you're creating right now, Pisces. Make sure that you are really like focusing and seeing it through. Set real intentions. Don't just go out aimlessly. Don't just spread yourself thin. Make sure that you're grounded in the earth and you're setting intentions for your creations, and that you're connected. Be connected. Try to be as connected as you possibly can for this whole rest of your season. Let me drink some water, and then I'm going to talk with the chat. And I'm going to try to change this energy, because I feel like this energy, y'all, is not like, I wanted this stream to go much differently, and it did not go as I expected. Shouldn't have had an expectation. I have labradorite with me. All the readings will be coming like by the rest of this week and early into next week. Yeah, they'll all be coming throughout this weekend. And tomorrow for sure. Tomorrow after I have a doctor's appointment at 9 a.m. And then after that, I'm going to be working through the day. And then Friday, all in the daytime, I'll be doing readings. Saturday, I won't be doing readings, but then Sunday again, I'll be doing readings. So And Alexandra said, I emailed you about my birth time. Before I start anybody's reading, I go to the email thread. Like before I will never start a reading until I look through all of your emails. Let me see. So yeah, throughout Thursday, Friday, Sunday, and even going into Monday, everything will start to be getting sent out. And then I want to say by next week, probably when the moon goes into we'll see. I'm not sure when I'm going to do this cleanse yet. I may actually do it tomorrow, though. I may actually tomorrow do this early in the morning before I do anything. It is. Crystal within said it's just a chill type of energy. Just wait for the surprise. That's very true. And you know, that is, thank you. And I feel like that's the thing, like, that's why this could be a time that feels so boring, because it's like, everybody wants the surprise. And it's like, but if you knew it was coming, it wouldn't be a surprise. You know what I mean? Or it's like, if you knew what it was going to be, it wouldn't feel the same. And it's kind of like the one quote that's coming to me is like, you can prepare for how something will be, but you can never prepare how something will make you feel. You know what I mean? And that's like that's the polarity between Virgo and Pisces. Like Virgo can plan their whole life out. Virgo will plan out until their funeral. Like Virgo will plan everything. But then Pisces reminds Virgo that like you can plan for whatever you want, but you will never know how it's going to make you feel until you're in it. Like until you're really truly in the experience, you know? So it's like planning is the illusion, because anything can happen. Those plans can get messed up, and you may thought it was going to feel a certain way, and then when you're in that experience, it's not how you thought it was going to feel. So you can never prepare for how something is going to feel. And that's like the unexpected thing of Pisces. It's that you'll never know how it's going to feel. You never know how they're going to feel. Like that's why sometimes people will feel like they have to walk around eggshells around Pisces, like very low vibrational Pisces. Oh my God, you'll feel like you can't say, you have to be careful, you know? And it's that feeling of it's very unexpected. Okay, I'm glad. House of Judea said just really deep and relaxing. That's good. That's good. I feel like it's a really good time to kind of like lose yourself in something like dancing, or lose yourself in something like music. You know what I mean? Like play instrumental music and just sing to it. Like write something to it. Like it's a time to kind of like allow your spirit to speak, you know, allow things to flow from in you outward. Allow to like get in touch with that inner space and that intimate space, and let it kind of come out, because it's like that's how it's all needing to kind of just channel outwards right now. You can't just pull it out. You can't just find it and navigate. It's more of like this subtle release. And I'm hearing dopamine drip. It's like a dopamine drip. It's like, it's just going to come at its own. And that drip, it's like, you're going to be on that high, but you may not necessarily know how much of that the morphine is in there. You may not know exactly how much of the drug is there, but it's just on that steady drip, you know? The next 2 weeks is a dopamine drip. The rest of Mercury retrograde is a dopamine drip. And it's like, by Aries season is when I feel we get released from that state. Like we pull it out of the vein and we're like, okay, you know, that was a trip. Literally that was a trip, or that was, you know, a trance. That was, so yeah, get whatever is in lingering, whatever is impending, really try to use the Mercury retrograde because Mercury right now, it's in retrograde, which means it's closer to the earth. It's closer to us. So it's like, it's actually easier to get stuff done when Mercury is retrograde than it is direct. Now your technology may mess up, but at the same time, it's like because Mercury is like slowing down and getting closer, people can take more of their time. You know, so this is a time to really work through certain things and like get things cleared up, get communication cleared up, clear out your phone, clear out your social media, get rid of the chatter, get rid of whatever is cyclical, whatever is negative, whatever is lingering, whatever is a negative type of pending, get rid of that. Organize, you know, even if it's hard to organize right now, find a way to organize, because that you're gonna wish you would have done that. When Mercury goes direct again in Pisces, you conjunct Neptune. Remember that when Mercury goes direct in like 2.5, 3 weeks, it's going to be at 16 degrees Pisces conjunct Neptune, where we're having this new moon today. So like this is a time to clear the portal, so then you can step through it and you don't fall off a cliff. Like this is we need to take this Mercury retrograde to really clear things out, because when it goes direct with Neptune, you need to make sure that you're not in the illusion anymore. You need to make sure that you really are walking on the dream. You really are going now into the world. You're stepping foot through the portal, that you're not just like, so this is why we need this right now. This is a very cosmic, collective, unconscious clearing out that needs to take place, so that we're more clear-headed by the time we get to Mercury direct. So yeah, I'm going to pull one more card for everyone. I'm also going to pull an oracle card. So let's pull an oracle card first. So for the Pisces new moon for everyone. Joy and innocence becomes you. That's what it says. Joy and innocence becomes you. Joy and innocence becomes you. This makes me feel like people need to release right now. They need to channel yellow, orange. You need to channel warm energy, citrine, orange calcite. This is a allow yourself to get into the feeling energy, the sacral energy, the solar plexus energy. Allow yourself to feel these certain things right now. Like, let that wave of warmth crash over you. Let any type of waves of warmth crash over you. Let them crash over you. Try not to be too cold. Joy and innocence becomes you. And then let's do one tarot. Ooh, Six of Cups. Six of Cups. So everyone is remembering something right now. Everyone is remembering a way they used to think about love. Everyone is remembering a dream. Everyone is remembering a soulmate, remembering a feeling. This is about nostalgia. This is about connecting with the roots of our emotions. You know, this is why these roots are in this deck like this. You know, it's like we see certain things, but we don't see what it took to get there. It's like we'll see how someone is standing, but we don't know the roots that made them stand that way. So, you know, this Six of Cups is about your roots. So like fourth house energy. This is about remembering who you really are, connecting to that soul space, connecting to your roots in that way, because then you know, like, what is it really? It doesn't really matter if you know how you stand, if you don't know why you stand that way. If that makes sense. So I feel like a lot of people right now are going to be like kind of going within themselves and tapping into those sacred spaces and those ancestral, like root type of places, like your real feelings, who you really are. And you're going to be connecting with people on that soul level because you share similar roots. You share similar old ties. This is like past life love. This is like past life connections. This is past life roots and karma. So this makes me feel like some of you may find that through this Mercury retrograde, you really connect with a soulmate, and it's a beautiful experience. It's filled with love and joy and laughter and connection and nostalgia. This makes me feel like some of you right now may find that this is a time where you're rekindling certain things, and it feels loving, and it feels like it's connected with your soul. So don't forget who you are. Don't forget who you are, and congratulate yourself from where you've been and what you've gone through to now, why you stand the way that you do stand, because of everything that has made you who you are up until this point. So I'm sending you all my love, and I thought this was going to be a very, very like buzzing stream, but then honestly, a few hours before it, I was like, okay, the energy is not like that today. The energy is much more yawn and much more like, one thing I want to say though is if you like to automatic write, if you like to channel and write, that's a great time to do right now. While the sun is with Neptune all day, like tonight, moving into tomorrow, the sun is conjunct Neptune. So the sun and moon started that conjunction today, but tomorrow and the next day, the sun is with Neptune. So if you want to channel write, if you want to just like get into a stream, if you want to just play instrumental music and start writing songs to it, it's a great time for that, to kind of just allow yourself to unravel in certain things, and illuminate the truth. Let it behold in front of you. Let it uncover before you. Great time for that. Great time to listen to just instrumental music and write stuff down or draw. Like allow yourself to hear the void, the blankness, and kind of like let whatever wants to come through, come through. Great time for that. But yeah, so I'm sending you all my love. I hope that you have a good night. I'm going to be on Instagram later. I'm going to post probably like a written post for the new moon and stuff. I'm going to let this energy sink in though. I'm going to let it sink in because I feel like by this time tomorrow, like I feel like by tomorrow night, there's going to be a different energy. Because today was so much, today was so much that it's almost like this new moon is just, like let's give it a day or two to really sink in. Let's give it a day or two to let things kind of shift in. Like we just had like 3 major shifts back to back. So rest tonight, all of you rest, take care of yourself, and yeah, let's see how this energy filters through, because that's ultimately what Pisces is, the divine collective filter. And until the next stream, happy new moon for the lovers.